Okay, my loves, we're going to try to walk and talk today because we're getting things done and we're going to be on time for New Year's. So, keynote, trusting yourself in the very beginning proves it. Why does this matter? A lot of us question so much about things that we know deep down. Sorry, my coffee machine wants to say hello. Things that we know deep down. And we question this because somewhere in our patterns in the world, we were told that our intuition had a reason to be off. Happy New Year, love! So, that being said, when you take the time to really process, that majority of times when things are based off of your intuition and then you actually goes against it, and then you get mad at the other person or other thing or other organization or however else, whatever have you, for being correct. In reality, is it really that person, that thing, that organization's fault? Not really. Because truth be told, if you would have just listened to yourself from the very, very beginning, you probably would have already gotten the fruit that you needed before the actual experience occurred that caused the frustration in the first place, causing you to then get irritated with the fact that you knew you were right from the very beginning. So this is the key thing. This is going to be a very short thing. Save some time this year, this new year, save some time with trusting into what your actual opinion is, and really process that as being the main factor here. Because if you could take your time to really say, okay, I feel this type of way. This is a feeling. I have a feeling for a specific reason that has to do with a specific situation that means something to me. All right, take that as a value system. This is something that means something to you. So because of it, you're going to put effort into it, right? Okay. And then when you have that feeling and that emotion, ask yourself, what does this bring up for me? What in the past does this relate to that actually makes me feel this way? Because if you could also process that in the information, that's also going to help you to really process the situation itself. But then on top of that, after you do that, take the time to say to self, why is my feeling and my intuition of value to the point where it actually serves purpose? If you can give yourself the validation that you need specifically in order to really get said thing to make sense to you, you've already proved it to yourself. You don't need to have the experience showcase the information that you've already known to get you to actually see that you were correct. Because what ends up happening is it actually does the reverse reaction or the reverse response, which actually ties into what's called a nakshatra called Megashera. The reason why this ties into that and what Megashera means is typically there's a whole long line of what this nakshatra in specifics actually stands for. But it's really like a deer, not in headlights, but a deer on a journey to find information and seek said thing and really have no specific destination ultimately, but to really just experience life. Well, it's beautiful to approach life in that way, but without a goal, there is no compass. And no compass means there's no GPS to actually direct you towards a specific area, leading to some kind of fruit, right? If there is no kind of fruit, how exactly at that point are you really being able to embrace the experience other than just simply being a part of it? Now, there's those theories of spirituality where you could say, well, that's the whole purpose. Sure. By the way, we have this beautiful light, and this light actually gives lots of love vibes in the house, including these beautiful rainbow prisms that you see all over. So this is a happy video, okay? But just letting you know, so there's nothing wrong with the actual, the filming of this. However, let's get back to the point. When you're taking the factor in of the Megashera concepts of embracing life and embracing the experience, that's absolutely lovely. But then there comes to a time period where it's like, okay, so what is this fruit really validated for? What is this fruit really giving the energy for me to target it into a specific area so I can utilize it, this fruitful energy towards something that I can bring into physical fruition or to bring into a physical representation of a feeling to extend out to my neighbors, correct? So what does this really do? Well, when you think of it in that way, you can save more time, okay, experiencing the love energy that comes from that fruition, that comes from that fruit, right? Fruit that turns into a fruition that comes from intuition. Are we going somewhere with this? Yes. So you can do that by saving the time of having to validate yourself through a series of attracting which is the reverse thing of what we're trying to do here, attracting people who are there to oppose what you already know. Now, how does that make sense? Let's look at it in a larger thing, okay? Let's give it a scenario. You have somebody that is super, super spiritual, very free-flowing, when I say spiritual, I'm not talking about your pretty picture of what they paint on the internet as spiritual. I'm talking about a person that's doing the work, a person that's going through the vulnerable moments, that's going through the times that are beautiful, but also the shadow moments, the moments that, are nasty, ugly, intense, but really getting deep down to the roots of where things begin. And now you're at this beautiful place. And usually when you're in that world, you tend to be more vulnerable. And so from that vulnerability, now you're starting to you really want to attract and bring in people that elevate that see you at your core as being magnetic, as being strong, even in your own vulnerability, as being intense, but loving. You're in that core area. And then with you being in that core area, now you want to attract people that support that. But then a time comes up that asks you to trust your intuition on something. You have a hunch, you have a feeling, and in that feeling, you're actually trying to channel something that is very fruitful information that's coming to you because, again, you've opened the access to the doors of information that comes from spirit. So now you're receiving this information almost as a conduit or as a channel. And then when you receive the information, you stop yourself in that way. Just stop yourself at the forefront. You connect what you see with what you hear. And then you say, well, I feel this way. And I have a hunch that this means this. Okay, it could be something that determines fear, or something that determines a harm. Again, very Mrigashira energy. If you are studying any type of nakshatras or anything, you will actually pull it up in nakshatras, are a really Vedic system in astrology. But again, let's run this back. If you have this Mrigashira energy, you are going ahead and you are attracting now energy that might be processed as a fear, might be processed as a challenge even, right? Because even in things that are seemingly ugly to you, it might still present some type of, it always presents information, but it might present something that might be scary, but then might turn out to be something that you truly need, right? So it could attract that. It could attract, loving energy, whatever have you. But if you have the hunch that it's something that is opposing, something that goes against your very nature, something that tells you, yes, I want you to trust into this, but at the same time, I also am going to tell you that you're fucking crazy. And I'm saying this with passion because it happens all the time. We have these intuitions when we get into this beautiful place of mind where we're starting to connect to true energy from, as above, so below. And then we stop ourselves in this place because we have something that's channeling from childhood memories or past life memories that connect us to this thing where we're wrong. And then you have this issue, and now you invite this energy in opposing what you have that hunch of. And then you go through this crazy experience, right? This crazy ass experience that takes you on a whirlwind, takes you to this roller coaster, takes you to highs, takes you to lows, all this stuff. And then at the end of it, you want to blame whatever took you through it, whoever, whatever the situation. And in reality, can you really blame that very thing? Or do you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, well, crap, if I would have just listened to the energy that I had in that moment when this was the perfect opportunity for me to be tested, to trust myself, right? We do all this intuitive work, all this work on, cleaning out and clearing out old bad habits and things that have completely distracted us against our highest growth. But then at the same time, once we do all the work, and once we get to that place, of course, challenges are going to come up. And when they come up is when the work actually applies. So if you turn off your very nature at that moment to clear all that energy out that once told you that you didn't have an opinion, once told you that you didn't have value, once told you that you didn't mean something that was going to be grander to the world and be of evolution and be of strength and be of power to your neighbors and to something that's greater and stand in that greater purpose, and then you clear all that energy out and you feel light and feathery and fluffy. But then the time comes where you have to actually activate new said beliefs of the fact that no, I am enough. I am strong. I am powerful. I am loving. I am of value. I can do something magical in this position. And then you turn it off as soon as the opportunity presents itself to actually showcase said power. Well, then you're actually just going right back to the same situation. And trust and believe God will test you, because it's not about testing you as in harming you. Okay, I say this quote all the time from Felicia Rashad. The universe bears no ill to you, do not bear any ill to it. But it is going to test you, because in new growth unlocks a new experience. In new video game levels unlocks another challenge on the next one. You can't keep getting gold from the same experience. That's not how the world works. The more that you elevate, the more that you evolve, these experiences are going to be more open to receive more fruit, which means they're going to get harder. And not harder in the sense where, oh God, all right, now I got through this and now I got to go through this all over again, even on a more intense level. No, they're going to get trickier. They're going to be dressed up in a different sheep's clothing, like, right? Wolf in sheep's clothing. They're going to be dressed up completely different, because a true scientist, okay? A true scientist is able to truly be able to prove said point by studying every aspect of the area, okay? So when we think of even this lamp, for example, right? A scientist is going to study every angle of this area. It's not going to be just one specific area, because that is going to be what really showcases that scientist what is really the true understanding of that experiment. And the reason why is because when someone comes along to fight that, they're going to know how to have a defense that's not necessarily defensive in the sense of just out of ego, but defense in the sense of saying, I value my opinion. I value what I've actually taken from that experiment. And because I value that, I know that it holds space. And I know that regardless of how many people may oppose that very nature, oppose that very concept, it makes sense because I have studied it at all angles. And so that says to you that every single time that you advance in a different situation of opening up new space, that you take away old opinions and get stronger and get better, that is going to tell you right there that you're going to be in an experiment at that moment to see it from a different angle. And that different angle is going to open up another opportunity for you to conquer it and stand value into what your beliefs are. And so because of that, keep in mind, every single time you go against your intuition, every single time you have a hunch and you're like, that's what it is, that sounds right, and someone comes in and opposes it, that's just the universe testing you. That is just God sending out a physical representation of something that will test you. And if you engage in that experience, that's a new experiment version, a new angle of the experiment to showcase I was not crazy. And luckily, a lot of us get out of those situations in full form, because those situations can present as even dangerous situations, right? Or a partnership possibly that's not really that healthy. Or it can turn into, even a situation where you get involved with somebody and a contract is created between that person, a karmic contract, where maybe a child is born from that situation, or a business situation happens between the two of you. And now there's this contract that you have to actually go through at a longer term to actually just give yourself the proof that you need for the original intuition that you've already had. So save time in really trusting your intuition. Clear out old bad habits, clear out old bad beliefs, and then once you clear them out, understand that you're at your most vulnerable moment to be able to attract somebody that might oppose what your beliefs are. And it doesn't mean that you have to adopt that energy full time to where now it's a part of your world at a grander contract. What it means is that have the conversation, give yourself the validation that you need, and walk away knowing that you signed your own contract enough to know that you stuck with the value from the original intuition that was from that original experiment that you had in mind. And if you could do that, my friends, you can not only save time, but you can also save any type of, issue that could occur from attracting things that might turn into permanent situations that are only meant to be temporary observations to just check mark on your list that you actually saw what you really saw. All right. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this is processing it. You are the proof. All that you are is the proof. Okay. You are a direct messenger from the energy of everything that you have ever wanted in your life. And if you can just process that you are whole, you are the whole that you're looking for. You are the person that is everything to what God has created in creativity form of magic, beauty, love, and it's, I can't say this word so quick, exception. Accept your beauty, accept your value, accept your love, accept everything that you are. And if you can get to that place where you continue to just dig out all the stuff that's against it and then replace it with nothing but love, people that love you, people that don't want to oppose what your love represents, they might ask questions. They might offer different ways of experiencing yourself, different ways of experiencing the curves of what your love represents. You know, the hips of what you represent, the magic. I say this a lot to my friend Diamond. Shout out to Diamond. But I always say, every version of this world is some representation of God's body. And if we could look at it, that there's certain areas of life to accept and see as God's energy of God's eyelash, God's energy of God's, the curve of God's nose. If we could see it in that way, we can also see an as above, so below to the same energy where we also are a very representation of God's love as well, in the sense of we also have the same the love language. Okay. So when people come into our life, don't push them away. See that as opportunities to value the curves of what the love that you are, the curves of the love that God's created you in. And if you can just get that plus and that check mark to prove to yourself that you already are the proof, baby, you're set up for everything that you ever wanted. All right. So I just wanted to throw that out. Happy, happy, happy New Year to everybody that's watching. I love you guys so much. There's times that, honestly, I posted something on Facebook and it was like the cutest message. I was a little reluctant to posting it because I'm definitely not somebody that's interested in doing any type of, love me kind of post. But it was a beautiful post that I posted. And when I did post it, it showcased such beauty to seeing myself in different ways of how people see me. Hi, my love. Happy New Year. I miss you so much. And you're doing great. I see all your paintings. I love them. I have a friend that just commented. Shout out to Airbrush Hero on Instagram, because I will be posting this on YouTube as well. He is absolutely phenomenal. I've worked with him on a show before, and I always see your success, and I'm so, so very proud of you. I might not always comment, but I always see how you are continuously evolving. And that's the message that we want to give to everybody, right? We want to continue to evolve. So just know, no matter how much you make it in life, no matter how much that you grow and that you continue to grow, you have to keep growing. There's continuously that video game level that's going to continue to push you. And you're going to continue to see the love of who you are in all sense, in all curves, in all things, right? You're going to see that. So give God the chance, give the universe a chance to embrace that side of you, to give love to that side of you, and allow other people to showcase that other side of you as well. But always, 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 if there's anything against trusting that intuition, trusting that ability to say I am loved, trusting that ability to say I am valued, trusting that ability to say something doesn't seem quite right or something seems wonderful, let me take the chance and take the risk take. No matter how much you evolve, you're going to continue to evolve, you're going to continue to grow, and you're going to continue to be magic. All right, guys, Happy New Year. Love you all, and thank you for watching. Bye.